Today we have, oh shoot, welcome to the Local Service-Based Podcast. This episode, I have no idea. Today we have freaking Matteo from Viva Digital
Hello
joining
guys,
us.
how's it going?
We were literally on TikTok Live, and then I mentioned, hey, we should just hop on a podcast. And here he is. So obviously nobody knows who you are. Now you're on the spot.
Hey.
You've been duped. Give a little background. What do you do? Who you are?
So my name's Matthew. I do, the same thing Caesar does, digital marketing, websites, ads, SEO, basically do Google ads, meta ads. I've been doing it for a while now, about 3 years actually running meta ads specifically. And then I got into Google a little bit after that. So 2.5 years running Google ads and then website stuff. I had to learn how to do websites about 2 years as well. So just getting everything in, trying to get my foot in the door with, home service businesses, trying to help out more and help them get leads.
Hey man, let me go ahead and just start asking you questions, bro. How did you get into it?
So basically I had a friend who had an e-commerce business. They did clothing, right? So they had to run ads. And this was back in like 2022 when like it was pretty big. E-commerce was running, a lot of people were running e-commerce ads on Facebook. So they had a campaign we helped set up. I helped set up in terms of, most of the creatives. And now keep in mind, I was really, really new, so I didn't really know how to do it. So I had to learn, go on YouTube, learn and see the process I was going to do. On top of that, they had, a clothing brand, so they had to make the creatives. So they made most of the creatives, image videos. I didn't have to worry about that. But now that I'm in the present, running ads for a while now, creatives are a very big factor on how well your meta ads perform. And that's what we know now. So when we're handling creatives for, what was that?
Were you able to sell anything for them, or it was all like?
Yeah, so the drop did actually really well. I think it was honestly luck on top of it, but it did really well. So like they had, I think it was like 100 different items on there, shirts, hoodies, stuff like that. It was all clothing, apparel, and then they were able to sell out the whole drop. Some of it was organic and some of it was through ads, but they literally sold the whole drop. The conversion tracking wasn't all that on Facebook, but I know for a fact that Shopify was tracking most of the conversions from meta ads. I just didn't have the APIs and all that to successfully track it at the time. And now I have pivoted from e-commerce more to service businesses because it's more consistent. In e-commerce brand, it's hard to be successful anytime you run ads for e-commerce brands because of the fact that you have to have a lot of back-end stuff, meaning branding, you have to be consistent on that end of things, because the ads themselves will only do so much for you if your business is not optimized the right way.
So what, you did it and then you just gave up, or what?
No, I did it a couple times. We ran a couple more jobs. It was okay. Some jobs sold out, some didn't. Eventually to the point where he just wanted to like focus on school and stuff. I was like, cool. I think he wanted to start another venture. I still talk to him now and then. His name is Carlos.
Shout out Carlos.
My boy Carlos. But yeah. So basically, yeah, he does it now and then. And then I had family and friends that knew I was a nerd. Like basically,
how hard was it for you to like catch on to, like, how did you know what to do? Like, did you go to Google?
Yeah, I didn't. So like I ran the meta ads and I didn't even know like there's a whole media buying space. So like there's a whole space of media buying, meaning like Google ads, meta ads. Now it's TikTok. It was a big platform. LinkedIn. There's like a bunch of platforms. So when I ran the meta ads specifically, I didn't really know much about the other platforms. I just knew it was something I did, and I was like, okay, cool. And then this is where like Google ads became an epiphany, and it came into my head because I had families who had businesses. So they have businesses and they had a lot of friends who ran their businesses. They had like just a little pipeline of networking, right? So and then they had friends that wanted to try Google ads. So they were like, hey, like, do you want to try doing their Google ads? And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I tried it. It honestly didn't work at first. It was pretty hard, but they were pretty consistent because of the fact that I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't charging anything. I was just doing
what type
while
of
learning. Most of it was glazing, so glass installation, like installing shower doors. Some of them had like tiles, like bathroom. It's pretty
glazing.
Hold up, postpone there. It's called glazing because of the fact that they work with glass. Like they do a lot of shower installs, commercial.
My man's first account was glazing.
Yeah, bro. My first account was helping glazers glaze.
That's cool. So
yeah.
So you what did you run? Like I still don't get, like, how did you go from I'm gonna try and help, making the first, like, did you create a landing page? Did you just run a performance max, a smart campaign? Like
the first campaign we ever ran for them specifically was a smart campaign, right? So we did a smart campaign for them specifically. It was basically a Google hosted landing page slash their Google profile. It's basically super basic. They were getting calls through there. I was trying to optimize in terms of search terms, stuff like that. I was doing the very basic stuff. And then I got into, hey, like, let me try making a website for them. I tried making a website. It was super hard. I literally like could not do it. I kid you not. I remember specifically sitting for a week in my room trying to make a website. It was so hard, like
What would
so
you
hard.
use?
WordPress. Well, actually, at first I had got into the whole like WordPress admin, so it was just a blank WordPress page with no Elementor. And then I was like, okay, how do I do this? And then I had to go and look and find how to, oh, Elementor is an editing tool. Okay, let me get it through their platform, like Bluehost, Hostinger, etc. Got through one of those, and then I ran it through them. I just got Elementor, tried doing it. It was like honestly really bad. So like the first landing page I ever did, I can try looking for it. I don't know if I have the file. The domain's not there for sure, but it's like it was just like saying what they did. It was like a picture, and then like call now button. It had like like two sections, and that's it. It was like super bad. But I think the fact that it was very minimalized, like it did okay in terms of like I think they were honestly breaking even. Conversion tracking wasn't even set up at the time. I know for a fact that wasn't on there. But over time, these are stuff we start implementing. The very first thing, like epiphany though, was okay. I did the Google ads, and then I was like, okay, now I have to make a website, do the landing pages, and then the biggest epiphany I had was finding out what SEO was. And when I found out what SEO was, my head exploded. Like, I mean, I was like in shock. I was like, dude, what is this? Like, I had no idea. I was like, so I have to do all these backlinks on top of this. I have to build out all this like type of things to make my website, be shown organically. And then it's just crazy. And then you get to the site like, okay, so if I make a regular website, it doesn't mean it's gonna get traffic. Like you can get traffic from a website, just having it built. You need to still, build a presence on Google, build a presence on these search engines so they can understand what it is you do and give it to the people looking for it. So that's kind of where that epiphany hit. And then I was like, man, like I gotta kind of have to learn this. I wouldn't say I'm a SEO expert by any means. Very little in terms of on-page, interlinking, basic stuff like that, building out the pages, knowing what text to put out, how to index the pages, submit it to Google, stuff like that. But that's kind of where the epiphany hit. And then I was like, okay, those are like my three little infinity stones for understanding this. Let me just go with it. But
So
yeah.
then what, how did you start getting so this is before getting paid for anything?
What was that?
This is before getting paid for anything?
Yeah, I didn't get paid for anything. It was just I would literally work in the morning. So like I worked in my family shop. They did like glass fabrication, so it's different from glazing, but it's fabrication. And they basically all the stuff you need before you like install glass. You got to cut the glass, do all this stuff. I worked there literally in the morning. I would wake up at 3 a.m. It was like an hour and a half commute. So I wake up like at 3 a.m., drive all the way to work, start work at 5, finish at like 1:30, 2-ish, and then drive home. So I get home like at 4, go to the gym, and then like from let's say 6 to 10, 11, it was like 4 or 5 hours. I would just sit down and just literally do what I had to do. Whether it's like, hey, let me try making the landing pages, let me try making a website. The very first thing I did was actually like make a website, and then I played around with it, and then I got mad, and then I threw it all away. Like I literally just rage quit, and I was like, I can't do this. Turned it off, like just walked away. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just like make it super simple. And then I made the one page, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'll just do this. But we had made that search campaign maybe like 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months after making the smart campaign. So I was pivoting on smart campaigns for a while. I was like, I'm just gonna let this work. And then I done the smart campaign, did a search campaign. Never really did much with Performance Max, just because I had to set one up, but like I think we had spent a lot of money at first and then just kill that.
What was the budget, by the way?
The budget for them, they were running like $750 a month. It was okay. They were like $25 a day. That was like, oh, I'll spend $25 a day. I was like, cool. So they get a couple calls here and there, not like a call a day, but it was occasional.
So then what? You just kept.
I was like, yeah, let me keep doing it. And they would tell their friends like, hey, like, hey, he's doing it. I had maybe like a handful, like 3 people I helped out at the very start, and then I got like these were all like friends of friends, so it was pretty tight, 3. And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, let me like someone else found out about it. And then I got someone that wasn't really like close to the family, but they were out, and I was like, okay, help them. And that's literally kind of where it's at. I had 4 people I was helping. And then I kept helping. The one thing happened like beginning of actually last year when the economy kind of got rough, most of them just stopped. Like they're kind of old school too. So just like, I'm just not like lay off. So I didn't really I didn't have any like clients at the time at the beginning of like last year. So, and it wasn't even getting paid for it. They would be like, like just help out, whatever, cool. And I was just doing it in terms of learning. I think I was always obsessed with the data. Like I would look at, trying to like the KPIs and I would see it and I was like, man, like I'm gonna try hard. It's like having good stats on like a first person shooter game like Call of Duty or Black Ops. To me, you're like Battlefield. It's like having good stats. So it was super cool. I was like super competitive. Even to this day, if I get super mad if I see like a low CTR, if campaign is like doing bad. If I see high average cost per click, I'll get mad. Stuff like that. Like I literally, it affects me to my core. And then when I see people doing good, it's cool. Like I like it. I like it.
So at what point were you like, let me go ahead and like when do you become Viva Digital? Like when do you say like, all right, I want to make this a business. I wanna get my own clients. I actually want to get paid for it. At what point are you like, versus like just I mean, I think you were working somewhere, but like when were you like, all right, I'm out, or like I'm gonna try?
So like 2 years ago, that was like 2 years ago, beginning of 2023-ish. I was like, I want to start a business in this. And it was kind of like a thing. So it kind of became more like a freelance at first. It was never even the name. And then halfway through that year, towards the end, I was like, you know what? Like, let me get a name. Let me just make it like an actual business. I want to just put the branding behind it. That's when I kind of like got introduced because I was taking marketing classes in college. I like got introduced to branding and all these other things. I was like, you know what? Like, let me make this actual thing, because there's two things to marketing or like advertising. It's the advertising side, which is the technicality of actually doing the advertisements, running them on Google, Meta, the SEO, the landing pages, the website stuff. That's the advertising side, technicality. And then there's a marketing side that has to do with more psychology, how people perceive your offers, your deals, how people perceive what you're putting out there and actually interact with it and execute. So there's two parts to it. And that's why I was, you know what, let me try like figuring it out and let me just put an actual name. So at the end of 2023-ish, beginning of 2023, it was more like freelance. And then 2023 was more like, let me put a name. I literally went on ChatGPT, kid you not. And I was like, let me find like Hispanic inspired names for like a marketing company. And I kid you not, one of them was like, there was a bunch of random ones and I didn't like any of them. And then the only reason I chose Viva Digital was because of the airline Viva Aerobus. It's an airline. It's a Mexican airline. I thought it was so funny. And I was like, you know what? Let me choose this name. And honestly, to this day, the name is cool, but a lot of people have trouble like saying it or like, Viva. Like they're like Viva or like they say it, they're like, what is this? And I'm just like, dang, like they don't get it. But it's cool.
So if somebody calls you, are you like, I'm Matteo from Viva?
Yeah, like it depends. It depends where they find me. So like if I do any cold call to them, I'll tell them, hey, it's Matthew from Viva Digital. Or honestly, I don't ever say the business name because when you're cold calling, you don't want to sound super salesy. So I'm just like, hey, my name is Matthew. I help businesses, et cetera, with this, and that. If you give me 30 seconds, I can let you know how I can possibly help you get more leads through these platforms, which I've helped them for other businesses, et cetera. Whatever the pitch is. You go from there and then they kind of relate to it. At the end, it's kind of like, oh, but like our name is Viva Digital Marketing. To this day, like I'm fairly small, for sure, smaller than you, Caesar, but I still, I'm trying to get the hang of putting the name out there more. Because I think a lot of people know me for my face a lot more, but not the business name. So I need to build that for sure. So I still need to do that.
I do agree, like that's not a bad approach. Like it's more personalized. You don't add layers of confusion. And so that's not bad. How did you get your logo?
I think I had went on like a logo creator, some random website, literally. Once a logo creator was looking at different logos. I think it was like an AI on literally a logo creator website, and then I just created one, looking for one that wasn't like really used. It looks kind of common, but I just changed the coloring. I put red coloring. Why red? I don't know. I think I looked what colors do like marketing wise, what colors perceive the brain perceive. I was like, oh, red is one of the ones that stand out, or like
are you just Googling this stuff, or like what? How are you, like, where are you looking, like specifically?
Google, ChatGPT, literally like a mix of all these like platforms just for like general stuff. The whole business backend is a lot different than the marketing stuff. So like it's super different than learning the marketing. And even the marketing stuff is like, if you want to learn on YouTube, you have to kind of dig deep and look for videos. Like there's not one video that says how like the how to. You really have to look and watch multiple videos and consume a lot of content. That's really what it's about. You have to kind of find that like maybe golden piece, and then you can find little pieces and you put them together like a puzzle, and then you're like, oh, okay, this makes more sense. But that's kind of how you go about doing the whole process.
Okay, so tell me, who's your first how did you get your first paying customer?
Through
and
Facebook.
Who was it? Not
Facebook.
Like specifically like what type of business?
it was like an organizing, I guess like first outreach customer was like an organizing business. So they did like a bunch of like organizing. So it was professional organizing literally.
Organizing what?
Like it was like organizing homes. So like the service literally was like they can do video calls or they can do in person like meetups, or they'll go to your house and they'll literally walk you through how to organize a home. It was super niche, super niche. And they found through Facebook. So like I at the time I had not done like social media or anything. I did cold calling, cold emailing, and then I would post a lot on Facebook groups. I mean
What's
like
the
a lot.
timeline? Like from all
Uh
right, I'm a cold call, I'm a post on Facebook groups till your first call it lead, and then to your first customer.
Probably, I would say I was cold calling, sending. I didn't send a lot of emails at that time. I was a lot of cold calls, and the cold calls were brutal, dude. And then it was, I would say, I started cold calling, and then the groups, and then putting like a bunch of stuff out there. That was maybe like a month or two, like I'll say a month or two ish of doing that, 2.5 months, and then I got a lead, and I was like, okay, cool. And the first lead I got, I closed, so it was cool. I
Oh,
like,
you closed your first lead.
yeah, the first lead I
What
got
did
was
you offer
cool.
them?
I said, hey, you know what? Give me 30 days. I'll get you the X amount of leads. And if you like it, cool. You can pay me after. And then yeah, it worked. I told him like I'll get you 20 leads in 30 days. And which honestly not a lot, but I was like, you know, I don't want like I felt like I was like, man, like let me just show them I can get them 20 leads. But the thing is that this service specifically is pretty high ticket. Like you'd be surprised. They charge like
Yeah, it
80,
sounds luxury. You
60,
don't hire somebody to
$80 an
organize
hour.
your
Yeah.
stuff.
So it's pretty niche. We ran in a lot of high income areas. Like I mean high income areas here in California. They're from California. So basically, we ran it in high income areas. It
What did you
was like
run?
$60 an hour. Google search ad.
Okay, so what? Professional organizer near me type stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Just you know, for women, it was more based to moms.
Did you make landing pages and stuff like that?
Yeah, I made landing pages. I made I think two landing pages. One was for moms, and the other one was just general, like a general home organizer. So just like everything do indoor, it was like breakdown of different little services you could do, like garage, kitchen, etc., etc., etc. Book your
What
appointment.
what what was your like what was your first payout? Like what was your first like
It
did they
was
and how did you receive it? Like how did you accept the
oh,
payment?
okay. Okay, there. These are two things. These are two big things you guys need to know. Um, the first payout was $1,000 for I think it was like 2 months of work because it was basically like 30 days, like 20 leads, and you could pay after the first month, and then they paid for that month and the month after. So it was basically like 500 a month, but it was $1,000 for the first 2 months basically of work, completely free, and then they paid it at the end of the second month, I believe, and then it was through Stripe. So like I had a Stripe thing I built out, and I have an invoice system because I didn't know how to even collect payments at that time. So I was just like, you know what, I built it through Stripe, and it was like a payment link. So they just you said Stripe, they have a thing where it's like you make it, you can just send a payment link, and they can pay directly on there, like no invoicing system, nothing like that, and they paid it, and that's it. And I was like, and I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool, like dang, like that's pretty cool. I had gotten website projects prior to that though that I had charged for, but it was Zelle. Like I think one cut me a check, a company cut me a check, the other one Zelled me. But there were like many website projects. I think I charged like $600. I think one and the other one was like 800, and that was like the
Same
most.
same thing. You got them
Oh,
through
referrals.
Facebook groups.
Nah, it wasn't Facebook groups. Those were like more referrals though. But I had already charged for those, so I made money with those websites. And then it was more like the Facebook group started bringing in more traffic. I had gotten another client who was an HVAC business out in I think it was Tennessee, and I had run ads for them as well. And it was kind of the same offer. I told them, hey, like give me 30 days, I'll get you X amount of leads. HVAC is very hard, by the way. So I think I told them like I think I told them like 10 or 15 leads. Give me like let me get you 10 or 15 leads. They're high quality. I promise you, you'll like it. And then yeah, they got the leads. They were cool with the service. I think the first month they probably got like the first month it was like 10 leads, but they were like cool, like let's just keep doing it. The 10 HVAC is very competitive, by the way, so like it's
Was it
hard.
in California still?
Mm-mm. Tennessee, old Tennessee whiskey, you know.
So okay, so then what? What happened to your job that you had?
Kept doing it. I would just work on the side after because I didn't have that many clients, like two, three, still because I had the three before. Help them. I think at the end of last year, like the middle of the year, towards was it July, August? They're
So
like, you know, what,
what?
we're gonna pause everything,
Like roughly
like
what
little by
age are
little.
you around this time?
How old am I?
Well, how old
Last
were
year
you in that time?
I got straight out of high school when I was 18. since I was 18. Basically started what literally as soon as I got out of high school, the summer of, my friend was like, "Hey, I'm trying to start this clothing brand. Let's do it." He did it, and I just happened to do the ads. That's it. That was like I was literally fresh out of high school. I was 18, I was a freshie, and then yeah, I just kept doing it till 19, 20. I was still working. Like it was just 3 years of just working and doing it on the side. So 19,
Did you
20.
like your
I
other
think
job?
it was cool. I mean, I don't mind labor because there was like some labor in there. I don't mind it at all. But long term, I knew it was something that like I don't want to do. I always wanted to like do something for myself. And I think the fact that I was obsessed with media buying, like the analytics, KPIs. I just liked it. I don't know why. It's something in me, dude. Like, I just don't like losing. I'm very competitive. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna double down on this and take it full speed.
Okay, so then at what point are you like, all right, let me hop in?
Yeah, it's fire. What was that?
At what point are you like, all right, I'm doing this full time, or are you still working there? I have no idea.
Um, no, I don't work anymore. I think a
You're
couple.
retired.
Not retired, man. Definitely not retired. I think I work more now than I did before. 100%. I'm basically on the clock from eight to 10 at night. Um, but yeah, I think it was like 4 months now. For November, yeah, 4 months. When I started working, I had like 5 clients. I had five. I got in a HVAC company, like pest control company. Got in this other company that was like detailing. Got another car like window tinting company. They're pretty like small.
From
Um,
all these cold outreach, cold calls.
yeah. So some of them were cold calls. I got in like a plastering company. That was a cold call. I got in the pest control company was a cold call. The window tinter, I think I had messaged him on like Instagram or something or Facebook.
So you literally cold outreach to your first five clients.
Yes. Yeah. The first 5 clients were all cold outreach. It's a lot harder, I will say, but you get a little higher ticket. But I mean, I was charging super low because of the fact that like I had like what was my track record? Like nothing crazy, right? So at this point it's like, you know what? Like I was charging like I wasn't charging them much, like $200, $300 max a month. Like that was like
So how
200
would the
bucks,
conversation
250.
go?
But like, hey, and, so if I reach out to them, like, hey, like I can help you get more leads, etc. I forgot what my first pitch was. I need to find the sheet. But like, hey, I offered them a free Google profile audit. So like I would literally spam that. Like I would spam it. Like, hey, I'll do your Google business listing. I will audit it and I will make sure you show up on Google Maps. I'll do a free one-time upgrade. Like it's not monthly, it's free. I'm gonna do it for you. I'll add all this stuff and I promise you it'll help you rank more on maps. And like, what do you have to lose? And a lot of them would be like, man, this sounds spammy. Like, you're not charging nothing. I'm like, do you want me to charge you something? Like, they would it was so funny. They would always like, dude, you're not charging nothing for this? I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, nah, like you're trying to scam me. I was like, no, I'm not scamming you. I'm like, I can charge you if you like. It makes you feel comfortable. But yeah, I just do it for them. I'll optimize your Google profile
So they would
listing.
add you to their business profile.
Yes, yes. And then I'll just get on there and then like a day or two, I'll just do the upgrades. I'll just do a bunch of I did it to a lot of people. And I literally did it so many times and got nothing in return. Like nothing. Like I probably did like 100 times. And then I was like, maybe one or two. And then sometimes like the window tinter, the detailer, I wasn't really ever pushy on this ad services. And I think that was like the problem. You kind of have to be confident anytime you do sales because sales and marketing, the execution is different. Like you need to be a salesperson. So yeah, I was really pushy, and then the detailers and window tinters and the plastering guy, he was like, "Oh, like I'll just like you want to try running the ads? I'll do it. You can do it for me." I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I'll do it," and I did it. I charged them super low. Probably cool. I still have some of those businesses. I think the only one the plastering guy stopped because of the winter. But I had him for a while,
So at
like
this point,
8 months.
you're using Stripe still.
I'm using FreshBooks with Stripe.
No, that's crazy. That's what I use. Um, so you have it on recurring.
Yeah,
Have you had? I mean, have you gone through the experience of people canceling?
yeah.
How's that?
I think at first, because I mean, it was always like I wasn't getting paid much, so when they canceled, they're just like, hey, like I don't want to continue. They'll be pretty nice about it. I think crazy. It'll be cool. Like no
Do
hard
they
no
keep the
hard no foul.
account? Do you keep the account? Do they keep the landing page? How does that work?
Yeah, so I told them like, hey, if you want, because some of the landing pages I built on their platforms, so like I'll just let them keep it. I was like, you can keep it. Some of the landing pages we had done on like my platform, and then like my host singer, I just put them on there. And then for those specifically, I just kept them. I told them, hey, if you want me to send you a file, I can do a backup and send it to you. Just have a developer put them in if you really want them. You can keep them. And then they were like, okay, cool. But most of the time they never really asked for the platforms. And then all the Google Ads work, if they wanted to keep the account paused, which I did actually have happened to me. I had someone cancel literally after like a couple months, and then they just kept everything running. They just didn't want to pay me no more. And then now it's funny actually. I think last week they had texted me saying, "Hey, like I want to get started back in spring," but I got removed from the account, so I don't know if like I knew it was still running because I had access to the account after like a month or two. But after they removed me, but it was still live. So my thing was like, hey, they don't want to pay the service fee. They wanted to leave it running, and now they're reaching out again because they want to get started. Maybe the campaign is slowing down, or I don't know. But yeah,
So in terms of organization,
super unorganized still. I'm still trying to get out of the organization, man.
but like, do you know how many clients you have? Do you know what they're running? Do you know like
Uh,
where you are in the process? Is it
Currently,
us too? If it, you know, it's,
yeah, currently 22, currently 22 clients, and we have. I know for a fact we just got two. I think it's no three of them that are like still not in the onboarding process, but we're in the process of getting their landing pages and all the tracking implemented. So we'll set up their GTM4, and then get their landing pages set up, get everything integrated there, and then from there we get the landing page copy, build set up. So like that's a copy for the landing page, and then we get the ad copy set up. We do our market research. It's like a market research phase. I just search, their area, competitors, other services they do, keyword research.
generally, is it always Google Ads? Generally,
It's mixed. Now it's been a little more mixed. Sometimes it's I would say the last couple months have been mixed. People ask for Meta and Google frequently. So right now I think our clients are split right down the middle, like half are Google, half are Meta. I would I would say I think it's exactly half. I think it's like 11 and 11.
what do you prefer? What do you like? What is your take on it?
Honestly, I like Google Ads. I think I don't know, it's just more technical, less creativity stuff. Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times, if for whatever reason, the creative can be a very hard component to get on Meta. But Meta ads usually you get more leads. It's just the quality is not always there. But the creative part of things can be a little more tricky, especially on each business. Working with a lot of different niches, it's like, hey, like we have to figure out creative that will work for you. So it's like, what can we do? Like we're gonna do like UGC videos, are we gonna do statics, carousels, video, like just owner videos, you talking. So it has to be a mix. We always have to figure that out, and that can be the hard part for specific businesses to pinpoint. Because some business owners are like, hey, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to try. I just want the leads. I'm like, okay, cool, but your budget's kind of small. Like, okay, let's just stick on Meta. Like, just do what you can do. I'm like, okay.
So
And
what do you
some are
do?
like, what? Yeah. So like for them specifically, AI voiceover videos, UGC videos, carousel statics, blast those, see which ones work. It's mixed. Sometimes we have statics working for some industries. Sometimes we have, the videos working. So we'll just, do that. If they never want to put their face on, never want to make videos themselves, or they don't want to show anything, then we have to kind of pivot that way.
Does it get stuff, or it's a lost cause type?
What do you mean? Does it get leads?
I'm
What
saying
do
like
you
if you're using static, are you using just like literally stock photos or?
No, so basically I tell them like bare minimum, I'm like, hey, like I've had one, like a couple, like honestly a handful that have been like, you know what, I'm not gonna give you any content. They put like 5 videos in our folder. We send them a folder. So we send them a Dropbox folder. They can put all their images, videos in there, the content we can use. We'll pick based on the services we're doing, which ones work the best. And then sometimes I've had it somewhere like they put 3 pictures in there. I'm like, dang, like what do I do with this? And the pictures are really bad. So then I have to go and like look for. I'll try getting AI pictures, or I try getting copyright free pictures from iStock or some other place, and seeing what I can put together, and then make it, kind of brand aware to their brand specifically. That's kind of the way we go about it. But I will say that the statics and videos, they're very different. Like every industry is different. I've seen statics do really good in one industry, and then kind of flop in another. And the videos do better in one industry and flop in another. But yeah, it's pretty much how it looks. It's always a different thing. So it's always testing. It's always testing on the creative side of things for Meta. That's why I would say it's not harder necessarily. It's just that part. Like if you can get the creatives down, if you have a hard time with that, you're gonna struggle more.
What so if you have 22 accounts, is that like a lot for you? Is that a little, like workload wise?
20. What'd you say? Have I had how many accounts?
Your accounts. You say you have 20 something accounts. So
Uh-huh.
like do you feel like holy crap, I can't keep up, or hey, this is not too bad? Because you pretty much
Uh-huh.
handle both Google ads, Meta ads. which
Hmm.
requires some landing page, which requires some tracking, which
Hmm.
requires client management. So I mean, it's not like you're just on Meta. There's things outside of that, or on Google. It's things outside of that. So is is that too much,
Yeah. So
or
basically,
not
I think
enough, or you're chilling?
like it can be a lot depending on how many clients we're like onboarding. So like if I get like X amount of clients in 1 week, and it's like, dang, like I have to set up all these campaigns, and usually they'll land on the same week. I'm like, dang, I've had times where I had to set up max like 4 campaigns in a week, and that can be rough. Anything more than like 4 campaigns set up in a week, it can be rough, especially if they land on the same day. So like if I'm doing landing pages, have to edit the landing pages. Most of the time, I'll edit them at the same time. So it'll be like Monday, Tuesday, editing the landing pages, and then, okay, I have to launch them all Wednesday, Thursday. I'm like, dang. So it can be rough depending on how many clients campaigns you have to set up, optimizing and like checking the campaign, saying, hey, you have to make these small changes, do this. It's not as hard for the 22 accounts, but anytime I have to set up more than like 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
in a week, it can be a little rough.
For
It can
like
be a
if you
little rough.
yeah, because the beginning is the hardest part. Obviously,
Yeah,
though, it's where it matters the most. Like if
yeah,
you get leads somewhat fast, it's like a really good sign. And if
hmm,
it takes forever, then obviously people cancel.
yeah.
So I don't know what do you have a goal? Like do you want do you want more customers? Do you want to raise your prices? Do you want to lower your prices? Do you start to hate this? Do you want to stop? Do you want to go back to the fabrication? Like do you want to in-house
Yeah,
position? Like what is your thought on what like pretty hardcore? Basically, what 6 months basically?
yeah. So I wanna honestly, I wanna build it up to a point where I wanna hit 100 clients by the end of next year. So that's my goal. 100 clients in the next year. Prices, I think we'll keep it. The prices I had started charging low. Like when I started doing more, getting more. I like had 450 or I think like 350, and then I put it to 450 because we were getting a little too much, and I still felt like it was like a little too easy. Like I didn't see people saying like, no, I'm good. And then right now they're at 550, the intro package. So I think that's fine. That's why people that say, oh, I'm okay. And some people say, okay, let's do it. So I think it's good. I think it's good. I think that's fine. I'm gonna leave it there as like long as I feel it's necessary. And then I want to run it all the way till I want to go to next year, build out a smaller team. So I want to get someone else that can, do the web developing, do more of the copyright, creative stuff, because the creative stuff takes a while. And sometimes it's hard for like me to even create creatives and do the creatives when I have to launch a campaign and still deal with the back end of the business, talking to clients, trying to get more clients, nurturing the clients, all that. So someone for client success for sure. Which I just hired a role for. So they're kind of like a universal role. Like my first hire was like a universal role. They kind of do client success, a little bit of like copy, so like landing page copy, add a copy, have them like playing with that a little bit. Creatives as well. They're learning like how to edit the creatives. They're getting it down. They're doing like a good, I would say a good job. But I started connecting my foot there, be able to guide them, like, hey, you need to do this and that, this would, etc. Kind of have to teach someone who doesn't have much experience.
How did that go? Where did you find this person?
It's a
What
friend, my friend, literally my friend. And I was like, hey, like,
is it the guy
he's
that
like,
did the drop shipping or whatever? The clothing brand?
no, no, it's the
Imagine
other
that'd
guy.
be hilarious.
Nah, that would be funny.
That's
No,
another
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he does. He basically for his current job, he travels. So he travels like 2 weeks out of the month. So he travels a lot to like different states, like in the U.S. He also like Formula One, like Formula Drift, like events. So they do have like he works with his dad who has like a man planning business for like it's like I think hosting. It's called hosting. Like they literally host people. They have like they set up a big, not tent but a big house literally, and people in the events can come in and get some food, get some drinks, relax. It's pretty cool. um but it's really on and off, and he didn't really like that. So I told him, hey, like, I'll
Mm.
teach you. I will help you, guide you through the whole process so you can actually like learn how to do it. And if you want to do it, you can do it. If you like it, you can stay, do it full time. If not, by all means. So yeah, he started it. He likes it so far. It's been like I think a month and a half, month ish. So he likes it so far. It's pretty cool. I mean, he's learning quick, and I see he's taking more initiative as of late too. Like, hey, this client was texting on the weekend, and he answered him. I'm like, hey, hey man, like that's good,
You
you
have
know.
a separate line, or
What was that?
you have a separate line for the
Yeah, separate line. I have a separate line for him and for myself as well.
damn.
Yeah,
How do you do that? Like, what are you using? Just a different phone, or is it like a software?
mine is a different phone, and then his is just a software. Yeah, so his is just software. He just has a regular phone on there. regular phone number.
So do you think you'll get to 100 clients with the same strategy?
Doing a mix of outbound, inbound. Yeah, I think for sure I'll hit 100 clients. If not by the next summer, but for sure by the end of 2026, 100%.
How about TikTok? How has TikTok been for you?
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Instagram, I've actually gotten like a couple leads through Instagram. Facebook, I still get a couple leads here and there from the groups. I think my groups are a little saturated. I mean, I need to join more because I've joined like probably like 80, 60, and I kind of post in the same group still. So I think people are getting enough of me. So I have to for sure change that up. And then TikTok is good. I mean, I think right now most of the clients have been coming in is through TikTok, like 50%, I would say, like 60 maybe at this point. But you know, it's still kind of depending. I have to depend on people willing to reach out, and like I think anytime you have to depend on a referral or something like that, it's a little hard. You want something more stable. So doing the, you know, called the outreach, doing outreach still, the outbound, it helps a little bit, keeping it stable when times, you know, it might be low on this end, you still have the outbound and you can actively do it.
Uh, so
What was that?
so the cold call method. You got. I mean, I think you post
It's
everywhere.
rough. Yeah,
TikTok,
I post
Facebook.
everywhere. I will say cold calling is tough. Like, especially if you have no experience doing it, you have to learn the skill of cold calling, and it's tough. It can be mentally tough. Like, I literally had days where I call and I just get slammed on the phone, like bad. Like, I'm talking like 200 calls, and at the end, I'm like, dang, bro, these people hate me. I'm like questioning my own beliefs. I'm questioning myself. I'm like, dang, like who am I? You know, it can get pretty bad. And then there's some days where I'm like, dang, everybody was in a good mood today. Is it a Friday? Is it a Thursday? What is the day? Like, and it's funny, but you can't really you can't hold on to one call. It's more of a numbers game of cold calling. You gotta just do it, do it, do it, do it, dial, dial, dial.
I remember you used to say like you thought people wouldn't close with you because you were young.
Yeah.
What do you think of that now? Even though that was only like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, and people were, it's because it was hard on the phone. Like, I think a lot of the fact that people think I sound young, my voice is young. People see that I'm kind of young. So it makes it hard for them to even like come around. But honestly, I'm telling them like, hey, I think it's more of a guiding process. So like, instead of kind of telling them and like being super, what's the word, submissive to it in the sales process, you have to be kind of more dominant, and it's the natural thing because that's the difference. I think a lot of mistakes I was making was like, hey, well, if you, I was like more timid, like, hey, well, like I can do it for you if you would like. And it's like no, at the time, like, hey, like we can start now today if you know you're willing to get started. Like just
Does anyone ever get cold feet or like buyer's remorse? Or have you had that
no,
before?
I've never had anyone. I had one person that was like, "Hey, let's get started," and I'm like, "Hey, like, I'll send the stuff over. Um, this I need your email, this and that." They send me their email, send it over, and they just never went forward with it. Man, I tried reaching out a couple of times, but I never really tried being too pushy at that point. I'm just like, you know what, you don't want to do it, don't do it. You know, I'm not obligating anyone, forcing anyone to do anything. Because at the end of the day, it's like marketing is really much. This is how I see it. Marketing and advertising is very much it's an investment, but at the beginning, it's very much a risk. Like the first, second, third month, it's very much like, hey, who knows what the results will be. And then after that, when you start seeing, okay, I'm getting X amount of leads per month, 10, 20, 30, whatever the case is, I'm putting this much in. Then you start saying, okay, like I'm closing this amount of jobs, it's more consistent. Then it becomes like, okay, we can do this on repetition and it's not really an investment anymore. It's more of a cost. Like
You ever had like an
monthly.
upset customer?
No, actually, it's a funny story. I had one client who was everyone upset about the service. They just had a specific brand idea in mind. So like they were super pushing for like a specific brand image, more like luxury, etc. So like they wanted to make sure their brand was on guideline, and I was having a lot of trouble trying to figure it out. Like it was super confusing. I think we were sending files back and forth, images. I had made like, I kid you not, like 20 creatives. I made 20 creatives, and not a single one they liked. And
Did
I
you
was
use
like,
that
man, I
Canva
couldn't
or
get it.
what?
Canva, CapCut, yeah, those two mostly. I was looking at the creatives, they didn't like them. Like they just didn't like them. They said they were on brand part, and I got to the point where I just figured it out. They're like, okay, that's the style. I'm like, okay, cool. And then went with that, and then yeah, but they were pretty like, yeah. And then we had one who someone said Javi in the TikTok chat. That's funny. People say I look like the Javi guy. Oh yeah, but they had we had, the funny thing was I had already made their meta ad campaign because we're set to launch like 8 business days after starting. So I had set up their campaign. We're on schedule, everything. The first ones came out. I put them in there, and I still sent a review. But my mistake was honestly like sending them the review before like and like putting them in there before sending the review. So I set up the entire campaign. It was as a draft, like it was on meta ads ready to go. And then they had to say like, I don't like the creatives. I'm like, dang. And they're like, I want to switch the campaign objective. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I don't even want leads. I just want to build awareness. I'm like, oh, dang it. So I had to set up the whole thing all over again. But yeah, pretty much.
Well, a couple more and then we'll wrap it up. So let's say somebody closes today. What is your turnaround time from like, let's say they want to do Google Ads? Like, how long does that take?
If they want to do Google Ads, 5 to 10 business days. 5 to 10 business days from when they close. So like whenever we start, whenever it's confirmed, as soon as you get started, 5 to 10 business days, we'll have the ad up and running. Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Easy?
And I think speed. I think the speed, quality, and like all that, it has a big factor to do. Like you can charge premium services if you have speed, but like right now I don't charge premium services. I'm just making a demand. I'm trying to build up the demand. So people were like, man, this guy gets them up within a week or two, and he's charging that much. Well, okay, 100%. So I think one thing is speed, but I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Like there's times where like it's like, dang, I don't think I'm gonna get them in within the first 2 weeks. I've always squeezed them in within the first 10 business days. I said 10 business days from the onboarding information. So like if they get started one day and I'm like, hey, you're taking forever to get the information to me, I'm like, we're gonna go from there. Just because it's hard. Like I can't, like if you take a week to send me all your information, like how am I gonna be able to do that in 4 days?
Have you ever had a bad client experience, like somebody just like ghosted you or let you out to dry or like?
Yeah, I had someone who they were like, you know what, can you do it for me? And then I'll pay you after. Like I'll pay you after the first month. So I did it. I did everything, set up management, everything. Ghosted me. Like completely just turned the phone off. I think blocked me. I tried reaching out a couple of times, like, man, I just gave up. I'm like, yeah, they're not.
What
they
are your
the Google Ads account after? I couldn't even pause the campaign. I just got kicked. I got booted.
What do your friends and family think of like or do they know? Like I don't know if they're like aware.
Their account. Yeah, my friends and family know. They're pretty supportive. They're cool about it. A lot of them think like, well, I've been looked at as like not a nerd, but more like the techie nerd. Yeah, nerd guy my whole life. So it's like, what a given. He ended up doing computer work. That's pretty funny.
Cool. I think that's like a freaking hour or so. What any last I don't know, do you have like advice? Let's say there's another youngish marketing freelancer agency builder guy.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
I would say stick to it. Do repetition. I mean, and don't do too much. If you offer, media buying, if you offer websites, if you offer SEO, pick whichever one you like the most and do it. Don't like lose your head in the clouds. Don't like, don't get confused. Like don't forget the outside noise and just do a lot of it, a lot of repetitions. Alex Hormozy says it best. I think he says, was it volume negates luck? So like if you just do it and pound it, you'll be successful at anything. You just got to do a lot of it. And if you're having trouble at the start, it's because you're inexperienced, and that's fine. Whether you're inexperienced on the sales end or whatever the case is. A lot of times, a lot of people that are freelancers that do this, they have the skill. They just don't know how to do the sales portion. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to do that front end work on the business. And that's really what if you don't know that, you need to keep doing it until you get it. Yeah.
Matteo from Viva Digital, folks. So yeah, thanks for that intro. I think for the next time, what we can do too is we can actually dive into like Google Ads conversation, Meta Ads conversation. But it just felt kind of natural to give you an intro episode, and then we'll revisit and talk some more shop next time. Yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in the Local Service Podcast. Find this every Friday. Expect more of these. Been posting for like 6 weeks consistently. Peace out.